Hello, everybody. The Silent Talk here, and today we are going to go over every quarterback room in the NFL. I have a list of every team's quarterback from who they have signed and who they traded for, which I think only been like 2 or 3 quarterbacks have been traded. I think 2, and that was between the Browns and Eagles. We're getting that. So yeah, let's dive into that. Do you have anything to say before we get started?
One, happy April Fools, and two, it has been a lot of, as always, before this season starts, there's always a lot of changes, and I've noticed that I can never get used to everything being the same, and so I must say that I'm surprised at some of these quarterback additions, some of these quarterback droppings, and some of the signings have caught me completely out of the blue, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and I'm very excited, so who's up
Yeah.
first?
Yeah, so we're gonna go by division, talk a few minutes about
Wow.
each one, so that stay simple. So the first one is the AFC East. Nothing has changed by the looks for the Buffalo Bills. They have Josh Allen as their starter, then Mitchell Trubisky as their backup,
Yep.
and Shane Buchel. Looks like I say Buccelli. Not sure how to say that. That might I think the second one away, and then Mike White, which I think he used to play for the Jets. I think he was actually drafted by the Jets.
Oh, yeah, Mike White.
That or he played for the Cowboys, which I might have a card somewhere of him in the Cowboys uniform because I think back between was like the 2020 or something, they had a quarterback scare because Dak got hurt, so they need to sign like a couple guys or something like that. Now they need a new quarterback, so I guess they're back in that position. So
Yeah.
they have 4 quarterbacks.
Oh,
The
man,
next
Josh
team,
Allen's going to be here for a long time, so I don't see any of these guys getting a whole lot of action.
Yeah, especially now that he signed his 6-year mega $1 million contract. So the next team with only 2 quarterbacks, according to my list right here, is Tua Tagovailoa. Tua, I can never say his name right. Tua Tagovailoa. I'm okay. I'm sorry.
I think it's Tagovailoa.
Yeah, that's probably right. And then Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's
with the Dolphins?
Yes, he got signed by the Dolphins.
I can see that. Yeah, I'm just surprised. Wow. Okay.
I mean,
it
makes
I'm just
sense.
going to say this. Tua, you better not get injured because Dolphins fans, y'all are screwed if Zach Wilson hits the field.
They're either absolutely
I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah, they're either absolutely screwed or it's going to be their saving grace. If I was Zach Wilson, I'd be like hoping he gets another concussion. So that's the only way he's getting
if he gets a concussion.
Yeah, I mean, he has like 5 already, so like 1 or 2 more, and it's not good for him. The next team with quarterback stability as of right now is the New England Patriots, as they have Drake May, Joshua Dobbs, and Joe Milton III.
I would like to say I actually watched Joe Milton III in the Week 18 appearance. He played really good, and I think he would be a potential starter in the future for any team. And I was quite impressed with his appearance. Joshua Dobbs is a good quarterback, but obviously, as we all know, he's good as a backup primarily.
Yeah, he's a very solid backup. He's been in the league for a while.
Yeah, go ahead.
Too. He's been in the league for a while.
Yeah.
So he can help Drake May. Joe Milton can help Drake May, but I think Drake May is going to be staying with him for a long time.
Yes, I think they drafted him with the intention that he would be the franchise quarterback.
Yeah, and another thing to him, he came from a non-very quarterback or NFL school. He came from University of North Carolina, UNC, which is not a football-heavy school. It's, I believe, basketball and baseball. So his coming in the NFL, yeah, in my opinion, I think is pretty impressive. Now, the last team in the AFC North is obviously the New York Jets. They have, I want to say, some stability. I mean, they have 4 quarterbacks, so in case something crazy happens, they got it. They got Justin Fields at number 1, who actually had a number change to number 7. They have a
Oh boy.
Troy Taylor, which is at number 2. Jordan Travis, not sure who he is. There's probably a reason for that because he is a third-string quarterback, and Adrian Martinez, which is is their fourth starting, or not fourth, the fourth string quarterback, which I've never heard of. So those are those 4 quarterbacks that are in the that are in there.
Yeah, Tyrod
That are,
Taylor has been one to watch for sure.
oh yeah, I mean he's another person that's been in the league for a while. I mean
Largely in the
he's
backup situation, right?
yeah, much in the backup. So yeah, and now that is wrapping it up for the AFC East, the next division, which honestly shouldn't have any quarterback issues, at least for the three of the teams, in my opinion. Now, maybe 2, maybe at least for 2 of them is the AFC North, as that is the Browns, Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers. So
That's
to go
a tough
forward,
division, man.
it is, as the Steelers have, well, they've lost both quarterbacks, actually all of their quarterbacks. So there are 2 quarterbacks they have, which they both got off of free agency, is Skylar Thompson, which
Yeah.
I know the name, I know of him.
He
I
was
don't know.
he was Dolphins.
I think probably was the Dolphins. I wouldn't be surprised there. And then Mason Rudolph, which he was originally drafted by the Steelers. He's back and reunited with them.
That's
I mean,
funny,
they don't
actually.
they don't got much working room with the quarterback so far. I mean, they are the team that's favored to draft Aaron Rodgers. I can see it, but if they really wanted
sign him?
Rodgers, yeah,
Yeah.
at least if they wanted Rodgers, I feel like they would have him by now. All right, the next team, which has probably one of the most hated quarterbacks in the league, is the Browns themselves at Deshaun Watson as their supposed number 1, and their backup Kenny Pickett. I think they need to start should start Kenny Pickett just because he is a much better quarterback. He has more room to improve. Is less cocky. I mean, he does have a Super Bowl ring, but he has a backup. I mean, I did say he did start in the Super Bowl, but I think they should get rid of Watson and start Pickett.
Oh no, I 100% agree with you. I think Deshaun Watson should just go down in Browns history as a disappointment. Kenny Pickett, I watched him all year against the Cowboys, and I have to admit, from being on his opponent, I think he played extremely well. I think his time under Coach Sirianni and Jalen Hurts really matured him as a football player, and I think he's well equipped with a Super Bowl ring, especially as we mentioned. I think he is the number 1 help for the Browns right now.
Yeah, and that's if they don't draft anybody, which depending on how they want to do the draft, and I can't get players happy. I've seen several things that they do. I see they either draft a quarterback or they get Abdul Carter and pair with Myles Garrett. Both I think will work, but it's really answering which position do they need most, which to me I think is quarterback. Even though they have
they draft number 2 in the draft, so they have basically a wide range of choices for quarterback.
Yeah, they can go literally any position. Now, there's some positions that obviously not going to draft first overall, like offensive lineman. I don't think that high up, and they're not going to get that because he's not what they consider like a premium. They're not premium position. But anyway, going to the next team is the Cincinnati Bengals as their first overall quarterback is Joe Burrow. I do have his jersey. It's awesome. I got the orange jersey, which is awesome. And their backup, probably one of the most proven backups out of anybody, as in Jake Browning. He played for most of last 2 years ago when Burrow got hurt. He almost brought him to the playoffs. He actually had a ring,
which is noteworthy in and of itself.
Yeah, so mean, he knows how to win. I think at maybe even at some point he might even be able to get a starting position with a struggling team. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Nothing much more to say right there. That's as far as their depth goes. Now, for quarterbacks for the last team is the Baltimore Ravens. They have 3 quarterbacks, 2 of which they've kept, 1 of which they've signed. They've kept obviously Lamar Jackson, but they signed Cooper Rush from the Dallas Cowboys, which don't know why the Cowboys would get rid of him, because if they want any hope, I say would have kept him.
He was a good backup for us. He was a
He was-
great backup.
Like Jake Browning, probably one of the most proven backups. He knows how to win. And then they have Devin Leary, or Larry.
No, don't know who that is.
No, I can't tell you either. There's a reason why nobody knows who he is. Not trying to be mean or anything, but I don't think he's gotten a start in his life. Maybe
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Obviously, Lamar Jackson is going to be in the center, of course.
Yeah. All right. The next division is AFC South, as we got the Texans, Colts, Jaguars, and Titans. They have signed or gained in this conference whole, or not conference, division whole is 4 quarterbacks. So starting with the Titans, as they got quarterback Will Levis, who has struggled immensely. I feel bad. I really feel bad for him. I think if they had Will Levis, I think they should have kept Ryan Tannehill, and kept him as a mentor for him. To me, that would have been smart.
Where did he go? You know what happened to him?
I can't tell you where he went, honestly. Now they also have Brandon Allen, which I believe I know that name, and Tim Boyle, which I think that quarterback room can do well, at least help mentor Will Levis, who's been a struggling quarterback. The next is the Jacksonville Jaguars, as their number 1 quarterback is Trevor Lawrence. Honestly, I think Lawrence is very underrated. I think he gets more hate than he actually deserves, because he has had snippets of what he can show he can become. It's just he hasn't had a great team built around him.
I mean, he sort of had that one year when they made it to the divisional round, but they haven't really supported him like they had Caleb Williams when Caleb Williams was drafted, and they built the team around him.
Well, yeah. Now they do with their new coach and everything. Now they can say that that they have.
Who's their new coach, by the way?
He was the offensive coordinator for the what's his face? The offensive coordinator for the Eagles. Cohen or something like that. Tim Cohen or something. Yeah. So just a quick fact check real quick. Ryan Tannehill is not signed with anybody. There's apparently people saying the Vikings are going to sign him, which I think that would be great, because now they got a quarterback who's done it all. He's won comeback player of the year, has played for 2 or 3 teams. He knows how to win. He's been in the playoffs. So I think that if they can get him, help him with JJ McCarthy, that'd be great.
Yes, and on a quick note on that as well, the Titans draft number 1, so we'll see.
They're getting Cam Ward. I think they're getting Cam Ward 100%. I mean, I feel bad for Will Levis, but Will Levis has done nothing to say. The only thing cool about his career is that he has some Mayo commercial, which I think are.
Oh, brother, I was just thinking of that. No, Mayo days be great or something. Nothing that clearly hasn't given him any good luck. Obviously,
no.
Maybe he should just give up on Mayo.
Yeah, but anyway, going to the next interesting quarterback room is the Indianapolis Colts, as they have former first-round overall pick Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones.
I
think I know. And then they got Jason Bean, but nobody's going to really talk about him. Anyway, between Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson, I'll let you talk first about this. Ask this question: who do you think they should start? I'll let you go first, and after that, I'll say my own response.
Okay. I think they should start Anthony Richardson, because Daniel Jones he can pass, but he can't really play very well. He he spends a little too much time in the pocket, and if he could just pass more, that would be great. But Anthony Richardson being a dual threat quarterback, I think that would be a great move to stay with him as starter for the team if he doesn't tire out and bow out, which I think he shouldn't do. But I think he would be a good starter with Daniel Jones in support if need be.
I disagree, honestly. This is to me, I think Daniel Jones is the wiser choice. He is more experienced. And he does not maybe not run as much, but he does have that door threat in running. But what he has more than Anthony Richardson is he has more accuracy. His throwing is way more mature. As actually Anthony Richardson, I think at one point last year, he was only making maybe 50% of his passes.
Oh, really?
His accuracy, yes, his accuracy is horrendous. His running is great. But if people call Lamar Jackson a glorified running back, then I think Anthony Richardson is the definition of a glorified running back. I mean, you guys cannot say that Lamar Jackson is a glorified running back because he can actually make the passes, make the
insane throws.
Yeah, and the throws, the runs, but Richardson can't, which is why I rather start Daniel Jones over him because Daniel Jones can make those runs when needed. But he can actually throw in the deep cover and all that in all those different scenarios, unlike Anthony Richardson. And the final team in this division the final team in the AFC South is is Texans, as they have CJ Stroud as number 1. I don't see him going anywhere. And Davis Mills, and the third string is Kedon Slovis, which I don't think I've never heard of him. Like a lot of these players, or at least third string. But anyway, I think Davis Mills as a second string quarterback is great. I mean, he I can't say knows how to win, but he knows how to play ball, and he does know how to do it well. But I also too is he's been I guarantee a mentor for CJ Stroud.
Yes.
Because he's been in the league for a lot longer. He knows at least how to win if he didn't win. But he knows how to do it and whatnot.
Yes. And obviously we all know that CJ Stroud has led the Houston Texans in his first 2 years in the league to the divisional rounds 2 times in his first 2 seasons, which is pretty impressive. And he was definitely the best quarterback out of his draft year. With all due respect to Bryce Young, of course, who was also really good. But CJ Stroud really stands out to me, and I think he is a wonderful starter, and I think we will see a lot out of this young player for many years to come. Davis Mills, I remember playing against him, and I remember the Cowboys playing him and some other guy. Like, they repeatedly switched them out, which I thought was weird and a little off. Davis Mills didn't seem to be a very good quarterback, at least when I saw him play. So
he's not a great quarterback, but he's a very solid backup.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that he can be definitely a great mentor for CJ Stroud.
Anyway, so the next team is the last team in the AFC is the AFC West. This is the Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, and Chargers, which I think have one of the best quarterback situations between starting quarterbacks and maybe even backups. So here is it's the Chargers, as they have Taylor Heinicke as number 2 and Justin Herbert as number 1. Herbert is a great quarterback. He still, I think, needs to get more used to playoff football because we saw him struggle against the Texans, throwing 4 picks. It wasn't the greatest outing as a quarterback, but I think there's much more historically worse. And then nothing much to say about Taylor Heinicke besides that he is a quarterback with a very interesting history. I think is the best way to put it, as he has, I don't think, ever been in the greatest position.
Yeah,
Not that I can think
I
of.
remember him playing with the Commanders. He was good.
That's I think his best so far years has been with the with Now the next team, this team is vastly improving as their new head coach Pete Carroll is Geno Smith as the Raiders number one, and number two Aiden O'Connell, and number three Carter Bradley. I think Geno Smith as a quarterback was a great. I don't know exactly what they traded for, but having him as quarterback is definitely going to improve the team as a whole. He is well established. Took him like forever from the Jets because the Jets didn't know what they had, just like they don't know anything about the franchise. But you know what? That is what it is. I mean, it sucks being a bad franchise, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But and I think he can help Aiden O'Connell become their next future quarterback because Geno Smith only has so many years left, and what they can do is with him is try to keep him as long as they can, and have Aiden O'Connell develop under him. So that once Geno Smith retires or leaves for whatever reason, they now have a good quarterback that can play ball.
Yes, I'm excited to see Geno Smith play. His passing is exceptional. Nobody's perfect, but he really had his glory years during Seattle.
Yeah, and we'll see if those Glorious can keep going. Another team that's in this
Aiden
AFC.
O'Connell.
Now, another team that is in the AFC is that Patrick Mahomes, Gardner Minshew, Bailey Zappi, which I don't think Bailey Zappi, which I didn't even know they got him. I don't think that's going to do anything honestly for him. I mean, now they can keep Bailey Zappi can get a ring. Same with Gardner Minshew, but to me, they're paying.
We'll see if they get a ring.
Yeah, that. But to me, I think it was honestly kind of not even worth it because they're paying two. I'll say not well known. I'm gonna say well known quarterbacks who have done success, has had some smart stuff success, and they're paying them. I don't say big money, but pretty expensive for backups. I think if they got like a nobody or lesser known quarterbacks, I think it'd be better. But you see what happened. Because I mean, if you got Gardner Minshew and you had like a rookie quarterback or somebody just starting off, maybe that would work to me a bit better. Get him to help Gardner Minshew, bring him up as a quarterback. But I don't know how much you can help Mahomes out after his successful career so far.
Yeah, if you're just gonna bet you're a bench warmer with Patrick Mahomes as quarterback.
Yeah, unless he gets hurt, which I want to say
is rare.
Yeah. And then the final team that is in the AFC, which is the Denver Broncos, as they have Jarrett Stidham, Sam Ehlinger, and as their starting quarterback is
Bo Nix.
He has
loved this kid. He is so successful, and honestly, I might be a Broncos fan this year.
I mean, it's better than going for the Cowboys. Don't know how to do anything.
Yeah, that's coming from a Cowboys fan who's watching it all. Nothing's happening. So you got to pick someone to root for,
I mean, the Panthers could always use some more fans. I mean, we got hope.
Did you know, by the way, Bo Nix started every single game in college and won most of them?
Yeah, that's why he got drafted like that. That's why he got drafted.
So pretty impressive. Oh, and Jarrett Stidham was a really good backup under Tom Brady. I remember him under Tom Brady and the Patriots for the longest time.
Yeah. Anyway, to keep this going is the next. We're going now to the whole new conference, which is the NFC. NFC. First, we'll start with NFC North, as that is the Vikings, Packers, Lions, and Bears.
Another tough division.
Yes, probably the hardest division to win in. If it's not the AFC East, I believe, which is the West, which is the Broncos division. Anyway, so I'm going to subject. AFC East, Sorry, I skipped the NFC East because that for forgettable. Anyway, sorry, we get to
Bro,
the North soon. The East, Cowboys, Dak Prescott with Greer. Cowboys don't really have much quarterback room as Dak sucks, and they lost due to contract. They lost Trey Lance. Um, New York Giants.
wait, where did Trey
Russell
Lance
Wilson.
go? I did not hear about that.
I do not know where he went. I do not
We'll
see. I
find out
haven't
pretty
seen.
soon, I guess.
Yeah, I do not see his name anywhere. So it looks like he's a free agent. Then we go to the New York Giants. They got Russell Wilson, Jameson Winston, and Tommy DeVito. I feel bad for Tommy DeVito. I feel bad for him a
Yes.
lot. To me, I think the best move here is to start Jameson Winston over Russell Wilson just because he's young. Winston is a bit younger, plus is less injured prone, cares more about cares more about playing, in my opinion, than actually the money side of the like Russell Wilson's a lot at this point. A lot of it's for like stints and money and more fame because I think Russell Wilson should retire. Winston is getting to that age where he should start retire, but I think he has a few more years left.
Yeah, I actually think they should start Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson should throw his heart and soul into this and play his best, and just be the Russell Wilson we used to see, and definitely throw Jameis Winston in there every couple downs or so, maybe if you're winning, throw Jameson Winston in to close it out. And
Yeah,
I totally agree with you, like feeling bad for Tommy DeVito. Me too. Could have been starter, maybe, but who
yeah.
knows?
Well,
Maybe the
we'll see if
Giants will add depth.
Well, I mean, I think they're going to go for Shadur Sanders.
Yeah, because they pick number 3 in the draft.
Yeah, and he's going to be open no matter. I think no matter what, because I don't think the Browns are going to go for him. I think they got Kenny Pickett. I think that's all they really need as of right now.
I don't
Anyway,
know if you
so
heard the rumor real quick, but Dak Prescott might be signed by the Browns. Who knows?
I've heard that too. Don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you definitely get the starting position he wants. Anyway, to another team that one of the few teams that have actually traded for a quarterback is the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl reigning champions, as they have Jalen Hurts is number 1, number 2, Tanner McKee, who has had some success, very minimal as a backup, and then Darian Thompson Robinson, or as we all know him
Dorian
as
Thompson
DTR.
Robinson. Yeah.
Yeah, Dorian. We all know him as DTR. That's how everybody calls him. I personally would have rather seen him start than not Jameson Winston, than Deshaun Watson, but it is what it is. Another team
Yeah.
that has some good room is the Washington Commanders. They got Jaden Daniels, former Rookie of the Year award winner. Marcus Mariota, a very successful quarterback, I think, who's probably another reason why Jaden Daniels has done success because he can help him. And then Sam Hartman, which looks like hasn't done much. Now I go to the NFC North, which we previously said is one of the hardest divisions to win, as they got 3 playoff teams as of last year, all which could have done better in the playoffs, but we won't get too much in that because we don't want to start a war. We have Chicago,
Storyline.
Detroit, the Packers, and the Vikings. The Vikings only have 2 quarterbacks, Jalen McCarthy and Brett Ripon. I think they're going to get another quarterback in free agency. As like I said earlier, the supposed rumors have him going for Ryan Tannehill. Then you got Jordan Love, Malik Willis, and Sean Clifford. Malik Willis, a good quarterback, to my opinion. I think he's done well for the few starts he has. He has definitely proven that he can win under the Packers organization. And then Jordan Love, who I don't want to say is injured prone, but not the most healthiest quarterback as of this next upcoming season. There's definitely worse, but I think he had 2 injuries last year. So we'll see how he does this year.
You remember, yeah, in the Brazil game or Rio de Janeiro game,
Yeah.
he was
And
like
then
cramping and stuff.
yeah, but then he had one more injury towards like the later end of the season. And then two more teams in here, the Chicago and Detroit. Detroit, Jared Goff, Hendon Hooker, Kyle Allen, and Jake Form. I can't tell you who in the world any of those three last quarterbacks are. Jared Goff, I don't think he's probably one of the least injured prone quarterbacks, as he just does not get hurt because he doesn't really do anything. He doesn't run a whole lot. He's more like a Tom Brady where he just doesn't run, protects himself. Not sure what to say about that.
I feel like the name Jake Fromm sounds familiar, but I don't know where. But yeah,
I mean,
Jared Goff,
yeah,
he's not very injury prone.
No, and
I
then
haven't seen that guy get injured.
last, but I wish kind of was least is the Chicago Bears. They have Caleb Williams, Tyson Bagent, and Austin Reed. All three which have had, I think, some success. Austin Reed, not sure. I know the name. Can't tell you exactly from where. But Caleb Williams, I think he needs to step up his game. If they do not have a good season under Caleb Williams, it is not Caleb Williams' fault. It is Caleb Williams' fault at this point. I think we've discussed this in our first video, the NFC free agency video. We said they've built their team around him. They've given him what he needs. Now he just needs to go out there and play. And if he can't do that, it's not the coaching. It's not the coach's fault. It's not the other player's fault. It's his fault.
Yeah, they built the team around him. If he can't deliver, it's not going to go well.
Oh no, he's going to be benched easily. It's all odds are against him at this point. So we have two more divisions left as you get the NFC South and West. First, go with the West, as that is the Buccaneers, Saints, Panthers, and Falcons. This division is interesting as 3 out of 4 teams have quarterbacks that are rising up. One not as much rising as he is now, probably out there pretty well. But we go starting with as the one out there is Baker Mayfield, then Kyle Trask, then Michael Pratt. Kyle Trask is a solid backup. Baker Mayfield, I think, is I would say underrated, but in the middle of the pack. I think he has a very good game with the Buccaneers. I mean, he's a great fit for them. We have 2 playoff berths in 2 years since taking over the position from the GOAT Tom Brady.
Yes, I have been really impressed and surprised with his performance, especially remembering that really rough year where he played 5 games with the Panthers, lost them all, got dropped, went further with the Rams, and won that one game.
Oh yeah, it was
that was a rough year for him. I feel bad.
Yeah,
but now he's doing good, so not too bad. Who's next?
Yep. Next is the Saints, as they have Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler, and Jake Henner. Derek Carr I think they need to get rid of him. He's not a good quarterback, at least anymore. His years
retire, maybe?
I don't think retire, but lowering your expectations on how you're gonna do or play, and play more play more as or stay in the league as more of a mentor, trying to get the new generation of players up and going. As for example, Spencer Rattler, who came from I think the Gamecocks, South Carolina Gamecocks. But Spencer Rattler didn't have much success, so this team needs a lot of help. Problem is that they got one of the worst cap space, which we've also talked about that in our NFC free agent video. So,
yes. Ben DiNucci. I remember him from our time when Andy Dalton got injured and we had to use him.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It really is. I mean, the amount of quarterbacks the Cowboys have used within like a 2 or 3 year period is not ideal for a franchise. Anyway, my favorite team, the Carolina Panthers, they have 3 very, very 2 proven, 1 up and coming quarterback, 1 proven quarterback, and 1 great backup. I enjoy watching him play. I mean, he's had some great free agent games. That is Jack Plummer. Then the second backup, Andy Dalton, who has been great for Bryce Young. he has just recently signed a 2-year extension with the Panthers to keep Bryce Young mentoring him. And then, as I've said before, we have Bryce Young as the number 1 quarterback, which is completely key. He and our head coach has completely just turned around his season and hopefully future as a franchise whole. I mean, it's been great to see him play. I mean, he's looked very happy playing. I mean, you can just see smiles on his face a lot of the games. Even the some we lost, he's back and actually enjoying playing football once again.
Yes, I remember him getting benched, and I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong, and he actually came out playing a lot better, and I was impressed.
I mean, everybody was wrong. Everybody was absolutely wrong about it. I mean, everybody thought his career was over. Everybody was saying, "Oh, this is the worst trade in NFL history." Try and get up for him, and maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was one of the smartest trades in NFL history. Well, it's too late to tell now, but I feel like the way it looks like it's been going, it looks to be pretty good.
Yes.
And then the last team in our conference or division is the one and only Atlanta Falcons. Probably one of my
Yes.
Absolutely hate them, but yeah. Anyway, they have as their third string Emory Jones. Emory Jones. I don't know much about him. Kirk Cousins. He's probably really annoying, not because he's good at anything, but just because I think is honestly some of the stuff he does is just stupid.
Yeah, he's very much all show, acting silly. Like, he's a dad, and I think maybe if he really thought about it, wouldn't he be kind of embarrassed? Like, yeah, I'm your dad, and this is what I do for a living. I mess around and look like an idiot.
Yeah,
and
but
I don't
they do have
show
it. Yeah, also have an up-and-coming cornerback, Michael Penix Jr.
I remember
We've
him.
only seen-
I watched him in the college national championship. He had a rough time, but he played very well. And being drafted by the Falcons was a good move. He can learn from Kirk Cousins, and he played very well for the few games he played last year. So I think it was a good move.
And he played 2 games. It's impossible to tell how he's going to do because those 2 games were against 2 worse, not the greatest secondaries or defenses, but we'll see. Actually, this year's going to tell a lot from if he actually is the great quarterback that everybody's saying he is or will be. That's it for the NFC South. The last NFC division we're going to do is the NFC West, which is the Cardinals, Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks. Will start with the Seahawks as they traded for Sam Darnold. Then they got Sam Howell and Jaron Hall. To me, that's a pretty good room right there. I think Sam Howell can eventually become a starting quarterback. I think he just needs more time to get used to or get time to elevate his playing skills. Sam Darnold is one I'm saying starting without a doubt. That's why they traded for him. To me, I think that was a great trade by him. I mean, they didn't lose so much. They gained a lot. I think their team can go up from here. Hopefully.
I want to see Sam Darnold play with the Seahawks. That will be fun to watch. He has a
really
great arm and a great football mind.
Yes. Another team which a interesting QB room is the 49ers, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones, and Tanner Mordecai.
Ooh, Mac Jones went to the Niners?
Yes, he went to the Niners, which is interesting because Brock Purdy is well established, but Mac Jones is a backup. It's either going to go completely south or fail, or it's going to just go up and be amazing. It's impossible to tell. And we got next team is the Los Angeles Rams as they got Matthew Stafford number 1. Number 2 is Jimmy G or Jimmy Garoppolo, and number 3 is Stetson Bennett, wow. which all 3 quarterbacks, if I do not be mistaken, have been in the league for a while. Yes. I think all 3 of them
Jimmy G,
have been in.
We all know Jimmy G's story.
Yeah, it's very interesting one. We all know Matthew Stafford with the Lions, and Stenson Bennett. I'm not sure where he's from, but I think we all know his name somewhere or another.
Yeah.
And then the final team of this video that we were talking about is the Arizona Cardinals. As they got Clayton Tune, Jacoby Brissett, and Kyler Murray. I think having Jacoby Brissett as a backup is going to be huge for Kyler Murray to elevate his game because Jacoby Brissett knows how to play. He's been in the league for a while. They can help Kyler Murray out a lot. To me, it's a smart move overall. To me, it's a win-win. I mean, however how much they pay him, it's probably going to pan out as they now got a dude that can actually teach Kyler Murray some stuff. Hopefully, get him off Call of Duty because he had that issue like 2 years ago or something like that. And we'll see how they go. They're supposed to revamp the defense and anything, and well, we'll see how it all plans out. And that is all.
Yeah.
And that is what we. And before we finish this video, you have any final words? Because I think I've said all that I've need to say.
I definitely would. I would appreciate it. We would both appreciate it if y'all would like and subscribe. Tell your friends to like and subscribe. Tell anyone and everyone you know. And we appreciate you watching. And keep watching the NFL and just be ready for our next videos. Thank you.
All right, this is the Sideline Talk.